Well, hello everybody. I'm here with Tara, who probably has had the most time with the Wii U here in the office. I thought I would use this opportunity to get a better understanding of the good, the bad. I've said a lot of things about Nintendo and the Wii U, most of them just about their marketing campaign.
You and I both.
Yeah, which is one thing, but that doesn't really pertain to the product itself. I mean, what is your overall take on the Wii U and the Gamepad and the system?
Right. So first of all, I should disclaim that this isn't a full review. Obviously, we don't have access to a lot of the features yet, like anything online, basically. Yeah. In fact, they've said that there was supposed to be a day one patch that would include all the online features plus all the TVI stuff.
TV?
TV?
Is that how you pronounce it?
I have no idea. That sounds
but
weird.
It looks like that's not as forthcoming as we once thought.
Yeah,
there is a patch.
There is a patch. It will bring a lot of online features. We'll get access to the eShop, to Miiverse, the Nintendo Network, none of which is available right now. And then TBI will be coming sometime in December.
And that will also include all of the streaming apps like Netflix.
Yes.
All that stuff. It's unfortunate because they really did try to sell that back at E3, that this could really be this kind of entertainment hub, that you really don't need anything else because it's going to all bring it in. Not saying it's not going to happen, but it is unfortunate they can't come out of the gate with the full swing. It
is unfortunate, especially since it was promised to us earlier. But what is here looks to be really good. I've actually got the Gamepad here with me right now. I've been surprised, and I've read a lot of things from other outlets as well about how awesome this feels. Like it's lightweight.
Yeah.
I weighed this against the Xbox controller wireless and PS3. It weighs a little over a pound. Xbox controller weighs about three-fourths of a pound.
But and what's interesting is that as lightweight as it is, it doesn't feel cheap or fragile.
No,
or
it doesn't at all. And it's all plastic, obviously, because kids are going to be playing with this. You don't want to.
And you're probably going to drop it at some point.
But it's really ergonomic. Especially, you notice they have these digital triggers back here.
That really kind of your fingers just kind of naturally go there.
It does, and just the entire system feels great. And when I previewed this in events before, I never quite got that feeling of it. But I think it takes a couple hours to really acclimate to it. And once it does, you really get the hang of it. And of course, they have certain features built in onto here. They have this TV remote option, so you can actually use this as a remote for your TV, just a universal remote. That's awesome, I think.
As long as the programming is something that my parents can do, I'm all for that.
Yeah, it's just right there in the system settings. So if I can do it, I'm sure they can. And then, of course, there's front-facing camera. What I think is one of the coolest things about the Gamepad is that obviously, you know, you can have what's going on here, turn the TV off, have somebody else watch TV, doesn't matter. So it's kind of like a portable and a console system in one. And you can actually take this. Nintendo has said that you can take it 26 feet away from the Wii U console. That is, I think, a very conservative estimate. I took it all the way across the room over there, which is about 50 feet away.
Now, were you behind another wall?
No. As soon as I entered the other wall, it went out. So,
see, I mean, that might be the trick.
Yeah, and I
think
if you
live in a warehouse, you're in luck.
Just as long as you don't live on top of a radio tower or something, I think you'll be fine. As far as battery life goes, I think it's about 3 to 5 hours if you're not charging it.
And you have to charge this to a separate charger. It does not charge through the Wii U unit itself.
Yeah, there's a separate AC adapter for the Gamepad, and it takes a couple hours to charge. So
okay.
And also the Gamepad does not support Wii or Virtual Console games, so I don't think many people were expecting that, but
you mean if you're going to play just independently on this screen itself?
Right, yeah, you won't be able to, you know, interact with the screen.
But you can use those games on your TV with the Wii U. That's good. You had me worried there for a second, because one day I want to finish Kid Icarus again. I don't think I can, because I don't have the dexterity.
Here is one of my gripes about the system. So, voice chat is something that is kind of weird, and Nintendo has been trying to kind of reclaim the hardcore gaming market, but I feel like they're not trying as hard as they want us to believe, because the Gamepad has a mic and an audio jack. You cannot use a mic for in-game voice chat whatsoever. It can literally only be used for video chatting through the Gamepad.
So then, like in a game like Call of Duty or something like that, what do you do?
So you would have to plug a third-party voice chat headset into the audio jack here. But the problem is, most people who play that kind of game are not going to want to play with the Gamepad. They're going to want to play with the Pro Controller, which does not have an audio jack.
Oh.
So if you wanted to play a game with only the Pro Controller, say Zombie U, you would have to plug your headset into here, even though you're not using it. and play with the Pro controller. So it's kind of a convoluted solution.
Let me make a little bit of lemonade out of that lemon. There is an upside to the fact that you can just plug the microphone directly into there. I don't. In the history of other Nintendo systems, like, oh, you got to go buy the adapter.
Yeah.
Because we're going to make this really hard on you. So and at least that's an option, but that's very unfortunate about the Pro controller.
Yeah. The other issue that I have is with storage. You know, this is the premium set, which comes with 32 gigs. After you format and install the OS, there's about 25 gigs left, which means that if you buy the 8 gig basic version, you will have 3 gigs of actual space once you
is probably save games and save games. I mean, I think it's a little bit unclear how large the save file is for a lot of Wii U games. Nintendo games always struck me as not being as kind of greedy. That's what you get on the PS3 and the 360.
Well, I mean, the Wii U had 512 megabytes of memory, so it's a step up from that, but it's still, you know, it's an HD system now, so the games are going to be bigger.
And I think you're hitting on something, because this is one of the things I've noticed with my very limited amount of time with the system is these triggers here. They're digital. Yeah. You know, there is nothing analog, and we're not seeing any game right now that's suffering from that, but it does seem a little bit, as with having so much limited storage, are they thinking about the future? You know, how is a racing game going to be played where you typically are looking at your gas and brake coming from the triggers, and you don't have that kind of analog support? And just, you know, with the upcoming Hitman Absolution, there's an aspect in that game where, you know, if you want to steady your aim with the gun, you pull in halfway on the trigger. I'm not saying that this is a game breaker or deal breaker with that, but it's just that kind of 95% there that I see a lot from Nintendo, where it's, you know, it's just like, hey, let's allow for that. 3 years down the line, someone might really want to take advantage of that with this very particular system. Yeah, and developers will have to keep that in mind when they're developing their games for the Wii U. With regards to the storage, Nintendo has said all along that they think that you should have an external hard drive with this. So my thoughts are, don't waste money on the 32 gig unless you really want those stands that come with it. Get the 8 gig and then buy an external hard drive, because you're going to have to get one anyway. Now, you haven't played every single game. I haven't played every single game. What are you seeing sort of with the games that are sort of taking advantage of the unique qualities of the Gamepad? I mean, are you seeing stuff that's pretty interesting now, or are you getting ideas of what could happen down the line? Both. All the games that I've played managed to use the whole asymmetrical gameplay thing in a very different way, actually. Zombie U, for instance, uses it as more of a supplement than anything else. So your map is on here, your bag and inventory and everything. Things that would normally be in a menu system in the game are on here, and I think that's great. I love that. And then with games like Nintendo Land, they have some solo activities that you can use with the Gamepad, where again, what you're seeing on the Gamepad screen is different than what you're seeing on the regular screen. Somebody's a ghost and trying to hunt everybody down. Exactly. And I mean, I guess with the exception of Nintendo Land, I'm still mainly seeing functionality with the Gamepad that isn't sort of core to the gameplay. It's kind of, it enhances, it helps. Yeah. I love the idea of having an inventory right here, because, you know, going in. How responsive is it? Like when you're going through an inventory in Zombie U, I mean, is there some lag or anything from the Gamepad to the TV? There's no lag at all, at least with regards to the Gamepad and the TV interacting. I have noticed that the touch screen, it's a good touch screen. Sometimes it doesn't completely register my movements. Then again, you know, my iPhone does that too. Right, it usually does it when I'm all like sweaty and anxious. Yeah, is, you know, Monday through Friday. But for the most, part, hopefully not today. For the most part, though, it's a really fast, seamless interaction. I've been surprised by just how quick it is. So, I mean, outside of Zombie U, you know, there's Mario Brothers. Are you seeing a lot of those kind of core games that's really going to bring in that hardcore gamer? I mean, there's a lot of third parties, but it's games that have been out for the past year. Yeah, and if Nintendo can manage to get a lot of those AAA games on board as they come out, you know, with a simultaneous release, I think that some really interesting things could be done with this that might make somebody want to purchase the Wii U version over another version. For a game like New Super Mario Bros. U, the Gamepad functionality is cool, it's cute, it's interesting, it's not like anything I've ever seen before.
I wouldn't buy the system for that game alone,
No.
or a game like Nintendo Land, which is really just kind of a way to show off the features, I think.
I think what it comes down to is that, you know, it's kind of like the equivalent of Wii Sports, but what Wii Sports was doing and what the Wii was doing was so kind of unheard of at the time, that as limited as the games really were, the novelty of what they were offering was so great.
Exactly.
And that the Wii U, even though it's doing something much different, it doesn't have that same pop, it doesn't have that same wow, and I think that's why Nintendo Land isn't sort of capturing people's imaginations the same way.
Yeah.
But I think it's encouraging. I mean, you're looking at the system and you don't see any fundamental flaws with the system. It's now really going to be on the software to really take advantage of it, and that's something that, you know, hopefully we'll be seeing in the year to come.
Yeah, I really hope Nintendo is able to get that TVII stuff out really quickly. I think that shows a lot of promise. And of course, you know, the eShop, just give us stuff that we want to buy.
Yeah. Right now, you just give me some old Nintendo games. That usually pacifies me until the new Zeldas and Marios come out.
We will literally just throw our money at you, Nintendo. Just give us the things we want.
Well, Tara, thank you so much.
Thank
I think
you.
At this point, I'm probably going to try to steal the Wii U away from you and get my time with it. But the point is, we're going to keep talking about the Wii U. There are more games coming out. There's a lot more to discuss. We're waiting to find out when we're going to get that full patch to make it come online. So stay tuned. If you want to know more about Wii U stuff or any other game stuff, subscribe. Go to youtube.com/rev3games. Go to iTunes, or of course, go to revision3.com. Thanks again, Tara.
Thank you.
All right, see you soon.